Hello Aries, welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back, and for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Nicole. Aries, this is going to be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watch. If that's you, welcome to the channel. Aries, I'm going to start with you guys rolling out a different type of set of readings. These are going to be timeless, so whenever you find this message, it's meant for you. I've had to make some significant changes to my schedule, which is totally cool. Pluto and Aquarius change no matter what, and Scorpios as myself is like, there's always something happening. So I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing now. So I know you guys have been pretty flexible with the changes that have been happening, and I appreciate your love and support through that. So I'm still going to do weeklies. They may come out in just one video. I'm still going to do the weekend energy as well, but just changing and how much is coming out as fast as it was, just because life happens, right? I'm trying to manage 1,000 things. So anyhow, let's get on with it. It is what it is. So Aries, the one thing that I was picking up on you is there's like, I almost kind of feel like you're trying to pull away from something, and I'm not quite sure if this is partnership, if this is something else, but there's definitely like, I seen the wishbone card when I was like shuffling earlier. I didn't pull any cards, but I seen it, and it just gave me the inclination that there's something of a separation that is coming. And Spirit, I got the chills, said it's going to be for your highest good, whether you know it or not. So we're going to see what comes up here, but that's kind of the intuitive right off the bat. High Priestess of Earth and Oath. I've said it so much that it's redundant, but challenging of systems, like your structural systems, like whatever you, and I think this came out for you not long ago, that might have been in a weekly or something, where whatever you have committed yourself to, it's kind of looking at it in the sense of, is this practical anymore? Does this really work the way that I thought that it would? And readjusting. I almost feel like you need to be released from a situation. Not sure what that situation is, but it's still kind of like your feet's in the fire on something that you're not real fond of. That High Priestess of Earth comes out again. So you could be dealing in lust. You could be dealing with an earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, doesn't have to be. But this is, you know, you've got the 3 there, the 6, this lust card is kind of like the Devil card in this particular deck. It's the House, the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle, I think is what this one's called. I'm terrible with the titles of these decks. But there's something that kind of tends to pull you to back into something. And this could just be the idea of what it is that you've come to know. I don't feel like the Devil is necessarily obsession or any of that stuff, as much as it is what it is that you're familiar with, what it is that does make you feel good in a particular situation. And it's like, but I want to plant my feet firmly to the ground. I want to make forward movement. And it's a bittersweet kind of feeling that as much as you enjoy it, whatever this it is also something that makes you feel off balance. So we'll see here what else rolls in. I don't know. I just kind of feel like something's kind of dug its claws into you, sunk its claws into you on something that is, again, makes you feel good, but yet there's something that it doesn't quite sit right with me with the way this is coming out. There's a need for an independent energy, fragmented. I feel like with this little pieces of yourself, uncertainty, yeah. There's like little pieces of yourself that are kind of coming up to wash, if you will. It's like when you get down to the bare of any given situation, Aries, it's like, is this all that's left of a particular situation? There's remnants of whether it's a past situation or whatever, but I also feel like there's parts of the brain, and we're going to get real deep here for a hot second. There's parts of the brain that it's kind of like you think, and I can't remember all of the areas that deal with different things, right? Like it's been a while. I'd have to look at a diagram again. But it's like you're putting the pieces of a puzzle together, like reconstructing what it is in every aspect of your life, every part of the brain that deals with, maybe the decision-making process, the logic of a process, the practicality of situations, your emotional energy, the experiences that you've had, processing the emotions with those experiences, the memory, the rumination of different things as well. And it's kind of like, with all certainty, I just keep hearing with all certainty, I know that this has made a massive impact on my life. And I feel like you're kind of the observer to your life. And it's like maybe compartmentalizing, I can never say that word right, these pieces. Like really looking at the bare bones of a situation and going, that once all of this is washed away, this is what I'm left with. So again, this could just be you dealing with yourself on an emotional level. But I feel like this has to do with your external world and situations in which you're dealing with other people. It's like you had greater hope. And again, I've seen that come out for you guys not long ago. So I feel like this, whatever this situation is for you, it's kind of lingering. You had greater hope for something. You believed in something at some point. But then maybe realizing too, just how broken and bare a particular area of your life has become. And, you know, sometimes we need those realizations to kind of show us the strength. So, again, somebody is like hanging on to you. Something is hanging on to you. But it's like you are diving more into a thought process associated with this energy. And it's like you're kind of leaving out feeling, leaving out, it's like everything, if you're looking at it from the point of the chakra centers in the body, you're looking at the root going, I don't feel stable. And then it's like everything between the root to the crown or the third eye is not being utilized. And it's like there's this understanding, this perception in the headspace of picking whatever this situation is apart and going, how does this truly work in my life anymore? So let's see. I ended up making a little spread here, doing something very different. Ace of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. Again, it's like somebody is constantly in this third party. I know that's such a vague statement, right? This third party situation coming in and constantly offering you something, constantly trying to keep your interest, keep your attention in something. So if they could feel, if you're dealing with a person that's, you're pulling back, or maybe you're working with other people, that's when they kind of come in and go, here, let me give you this offer, this tangible offer. Now this could be in regards to home and family. This could also be in regards to keeping your either mental or emotional interest in them. Like it's almost like attention seeking. So they're like, whatever I have to do to keep Aries' attention, that's what I'm gonna do, right? And I feel like you're on a precipice of freedom. And when they see that, that's when they're kind of reaching out to you and keeping you caught up in this loop. Okay, so let's see, what is the current energy for Aries spirit? 4 of Cups. Yeah, like I don't think that you know what to do when it comes to a situation. Like I told you, there's like this independent energy, right? And there's that 9, like you yourself, 4 Cups. I do feel like there is parts of you that see this 4th cup, but every time you're making that forward movement, there's something there, the past, those 3 of Cups, what you've already had, that's kind of holding you back from this lucrative, abundant, beautiful energy. So this could be, and I said there's not a whole lot of emotion, right? You're not operating from emotion, because the emotion here is, I've watched this, and this not work before. And there's a big focus on what hasn't worked rather than what could work. Now, again, I'm going to say that whomever you're dealing with is, you know, again, trying to keep you in something here, Aries. So, reading 9 of Cups. You just want to be happy. I mean, it's just very simple. Wanting to be happy and kind of fighting for that. Like, I just want to be happy. I want to do what makes me feel good. I want to do what inspires me emotionally. And as I said, like, I feel like that one key piece here, Aries, is the emotional lack, because, you know, you've got, and they're bringing my attention to the fact that between the 9 and the 4, you've got 5. So 5 Cups are kind of like sitting in between where you are and where you want to be. And you think about the 5 of Cups, it's loss, it's sorrow, it's sadness, it's regret, it's disappointment, it's defeat. and then trying to muster up the courage with the Strength card in the bottom to make heads and tails of wherever it is that you're heading, where it is that you want to go. So, Spirit tried to, all right, obstacle, 7 of Wands, boundaries, right? Drawing a line in the sand, defending your position on something. I do think that you're emitting a boundary with something and or someone who they may not respect that boundary. They may not understand your boundary or why it is that you are not fully invested or open emotionally to a particular situation. I feel like you're seeing, I don't want to call it fight, right? It's an internal struggle within you, with this 9 of Swords. And there's that 5 of Cups showing itself right there. But it's like, when you come together with whatever this is or whomever this is, you realize there's conflict that lies beneath the surface. So it's kind of like that 7 of Wands is, I need to keep this at bay. I don't want to have to deal with this. And there's a lot of you pushing away their actions towards you, their emotions towards you. And it's like, I can't help but go like, yeah, granted, you know, the 4 of Cups is a representation of boredom with the situation as well. But again, I feel like it's somebody who's constantly trying to keep you involved, keep you in the, you know, I'm going to call it in the loop, but keep you invested in something like, well, here, do you see me? Like, they could be very attention seeking. And it's like, when you enter this, if you give in to that cup with them, something doesn't sit the right way. There could be conflict with you and them. There could be, the Spirit keeps bringing me back to an exchange of words. So it doesn't have to be a fight. It could just be the fact that somebody says something that's a little off kiltered, or says something to you that makes you kind of question, like, are they nitpicking a fight? Are they trying to cause a problem? Are they trying to keep me up in my head? And that's how this feels. So what comes of this? High Priestess. You know, trusting your intuition, one, you know, first and foremost with the High Priestess, but this is also like, I feel for you, you're keeping a lot of this bottled up. You're keeping a lot of this to yourself. Like, you may be interacting with a particular individual. You may be opening up to them to some degree, but there's also a very silent part of you. There's a part of you that is like examining the truth of the matter. And it's opening you up, though. That's the interesting thing here, Aries, is as much as I don't feel like when it comes to yourself, you're in your head. I think there's a level of certainty of what it is that you desire. In the same breath, though, when it comes to this person, and it's kind of like they bring in this sense of confusion to a situation, you're recognizing that there's certain, you may just feel like there's certain things you can't share, and that may be part of this conflict if it is internal. That sharing your thoughts, opinions, ideas is going to lead to greater conflict. So it's kind of like you're subduing a part of yourself to eliminate any extra confusion or fuss that might occur as a result. What you need to bring into focus is the Star. That is your healing, your wish fulfillment, right? This is, Spirit just said, stepping into the limelight. So this could be somebody too around you who isn't comfortable with you having attention from other people, right? You could be dealing with somebody who's extremely insecure. They want to keep you, again, in that subdued sort of energy. And with the Star too, this is also about your healing, right? It's alchemizing the two. And I'm seeing a lot. I had to laugh. I made some changes to my one business, and alchemy is now part of the title to that. And ever since then, I've been seeing everyone talking about alchemy, and I'm like, well, there's a reason that came to the forefront for me. But this is part of it for you, though, too, Aries, is learning to alchemize. That word just keeps coming up. You know, the synchronicities are funny. But the number, and I almost said in the beginning, because I got the number 17 before I started the reading, didn't have anything to really voice that, you know, so I didn't mention it, which I would have now. But that is Aquarius energy. And it's like, you know, Pluto with Aquarius, as we moved into this yesterday, is putting a very forward focus on what is to come. Once we work through these transitions that are happening, what comes on the other side of that? And I think that's going to have to be your primary focus as you move forward, and to do it with love and intellect. And I said, you know, the mind is very much there, but you've also got the mind and the cups there as well. But you've also, side note to that, you could be dealing with children in a particular situation, Aries. Excuse me. If some of you have kids with somebody, this could be like a return of an ex. This could be, you know, just somebody that you've not been able to fully like move yourself away from. So they could be dealing with two separate energies, right, that are in their divine feminine energy at this time. One being very emotional. The other side of this, almost like Spirit is saying pokey with that Queen of Swords. Like, if she's not getting your attention, she's going to poke you. Like, do you hear me? It's like a mom never having to leave her seat, like reaching out and just getting someone else's attention. And that's kind of what this is. But I think that it's like, you may be giving attention to something or someone else, and this person is like, no. You know, they're very, I can't help but say, but very insecure. What you kind of want to avoid right now is taking any additional risk on things, anything that's going to add to your plate and make life harder than it needs to be. Aries, you're a go-getter, right? Trying to like conquer and take on the world, go after what it is that you want. Don't jump into something you know, without really acknowledging what it is that's beneath you. Like, you think about the fool, he's on the edge of the cliff, ready to take a flying leap and just do his thing, and hopefully that everything will be just fine. I think you're going to be very careful of that, and you know, not taking uncalculated risk, like just going, okay, well, whatever happens, happens, because I do feel like if you step into that situation or that role with this particular energy that you're dealing with, they're going to make things even harder for you than they need to be. And it's like you're almost at a point where you're going to have to strategize how you move forward from the situation to not add any burden. So it's kind of like if you're pacifying somebody, like, okay, yeah, like I'll come over and do X, Y, and Z, or yes, I can do this. It's like learning to say no when you can't take on anymore, or saying, you know, I would like to do this, but here's the reality of the situation. But I do feel like someone's trying to keep you tied up to them, whether it's by promise, commitment, whatever it might be, but it's making you feel very ungrounded. Advice, the Nine of Wands, Five of Wands, and the Temperance card. All right, Sag energy. So you could be dealing with an Aquarius, a Sagittarius, doesn't have to be. Again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn has come out as well. With this Nine of Wands as your advice, to me, this is like you have taken on, it's almost like defeating something. Like every time something has come up with whatever this is, whoever this is, you've handled it very, very well. And I think you're tired. It's like constantly moving that finish line on you. So it's like, I've got one more thing. And you look at this, and he's holding the 6th wand in that row of 9. Right? And it's that 6, I can't help but say, that's like that past energy, right? 6 of Wands is also victory and success. So it's like you're almost there in that Temperance. Again, the alchemy of someone taking more from you than you have to give at this point. It's tiring for you, but the advice here is to just make those subtle changes and know that you're almost to the end of a particular situation. You know, hate to go keep fighting your way through it, but that's pretty much where you are. Clarifying the 4 cups, we've got the Moon energy. So Pisces, Cancer energy there. Subconscious, right? It's a representation of our subconscious mind. There's also, Spirit just said, a subconscious fear attached to this. It's like, no matter what you do, Aries, it's like, what is the emotional repercussion for the decisions that you are making, or what it is that you are trying to avoid, or what it is that feels like they're not getting your attention. And I do think that with the Sun and the Moon, this is a highlight of that, like how they're going to interact with you based upon what you give them. So it's like, you know, you think of it as a bully. the more attention and energy you give to them, the more they're inclined to continue up their nonsense, because they've got your attention, right? They've got you invested in some kind of conflict with them. So there is this highlight of you're seeing the duality of, when I interact with this person, this is often the end result. When I choose to pull back my energy and not give it the attention that it's seeking, you may feel some kind of guilt around that. But yet at the same time, it's like you just kind of want to disappear into the shadows, right? The moon is a shadow. We can't see it all. But you're starting to understand the way this other person's psyche works, why they act the way they do, why they say the things they do. There's a very wise awareness that's coming in for you that kind of oversees all of this. And it's like, I don't want to play with this energy. I don't want to deal with this energy. And I don't think that this energy is like, oh, what's the word? I think they do what they do because it's the only way they know how to act. Okay, so you think about their own conditioning, their own things that they need to heal and clean up. And it's kind of like you're caught within that somehow. There comes that damn 5 of Wands again. All right, let's see. Here, for the 9 of Cups, we get the Knight of Swords. Again, I can't help but feel in the 7 of Swords, this person could very much, and talk about the communication, this person could very much be a person who makes quick references to something, or they try to plant those seeds or those thoughts or those words that make you feel insecure, that your happiness is irrelevant. You know, the way you're trying to move, the way you're trying to do things, it's wrong. And it's the way that they address it. Like this Knight of Swords in this particular deck, I'm not a big fan of him because it's like a chase. It's communication, but it's a chase. And it's always like, you know, I can't help but get this idea of following you. And whether this is physical or not, right? It's like they're seeking that attention. They want your attention to be on them rather than on your happiness, on what it is that makes you feel good. And it's kind of like they'll go to any means. They'll create any means with this Page of Cups and 7 of Swords to create that illusion for you. It's like they may not think that you see through their actions and their motives or why they move a certain way that they do. But you're catching on to whatever this is. Like you see why they, again, behave or communicate with you just enough to kind of get their digs in. That's kind of what I was getting at earlier. Planting those seeds of doubt is really how this feels that goes, why would you want to do that? It's like almost everything that you make a decision on that brings you emotional fulfillment, they tend to find a reason why it's wrong. And that's where this boredom is. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. It's like everything that brings you peace, it's kind of like they're trying to disrupt your peace. You know, you've got the 5 of Swords with the Temperance. You've got the 9 of Cups with the Knight of Swords. Again, I'm not a fan of this particular Knight of Swords in this deck because it's not just the communication. It's the act of trying to take something or hunt something down or go after something, or always putting you in a runner-chaser kind of dynamic. And it doesn't have to be love, right? Like you think about the way people interact, not just in a love sense. You can have friends that ask and seek your attention, and then once they get it, then they, oh, okay, I got my 5-minute fill here. Then you don't hear from them again for weeks on end. So, you know, place the dynamic where it fits in your world, but it's kind of like, oh, you're happy, let me disrupt your happiness. Let me say something, let me do something, let me make you feel responsible for me in some way. What is this obstacle about? Here comes the High Priestess again. Or, I'm sorry, the Hierophant, not the High Priestess, the Hierophant. 4 of Swords. Your spiritual structure is changing, and I think that through your evolvement of who you are, who you're becoming, Aries, you've recognized that you have to admit boundaries with someone in particular. Again, could be dealing with a Taurus, does not have to be. but it's almost like an intolerant aspect that you're sitting in. That it's like, I'm not putting up with things that make me question who I am or what it is that I know that I'm becoming. The Hierophant is also connections, right? Spiritual connections. This could be advisors and things like that, teachers. But the way I feel about this is whatever your belief is, whatever you've come to bear witness to in your own world, you know, the way you maybe spiritually evolve, maybe the way that you implement structures into your world, whatever this is, the way that you're moving on and moving forward, I don't feel like you can be comfortable with whomever this is to just be your true self. The Hierophant is true in his nature, right? And I feel like it's almost like you've got to box yourself into something that is of you and then protect that box, going, well, this is my little bubble, this is my little world, this is where I'm healing and evolving from this 5 of Cups that now for the second time is showing itself, and this 4 of Cups, from the 4 I say earlier, you had the 4 and the 9, and Spirit kept showing you the 5. You got the 4, the 5, and then the healing, I almost want to say the Knight of Swords, the 4 of Swords, which is a representation of taking that pause and that time out to reflect on things. And the Hierophant sits on his throne, right? Like he's overseeing, so he has to take the time to reflect on the things, the people and the situations that he's governing or taking authoritative position over. And I kind of feel like this authoritative position for you is you just kind of taking control back of your own world. So when it comes to this accomplishment, the fact that you're able not to react to a situation, Spirit is saying, is part of it. Knight of Cups, learning to coming from a space in something of love, like offering to nurture yourself. I think this is a reflection back on you, your 10 of Cups, there you go, of what you're gonna open up to. And I do think that whatever this situation is, you do try to do it in a sense of love. It's almost like a separation of yourself, Aries. Like it's kind of like being between the worlds and that duality right now, going, I want to be able to give these things, but I also feel like you may address the situation in a loving presence, but not to a point that it is fully open. Like it's like you're reserving that fully openness to whether it's yourself or wherever it is that you're moving going forward, that this is not something I just want to give freely away anymore. My energy, my time, my love, my efforts. You're thinking about the long-term investment here from a situation after you walk away. So you think about, like, when we get into partnerships, because I think love is one of the easiest things we can all relate to, right? When you get into a partnership, you give everything you've got, right? You're giving yourself 110% until maybe you see, like, the red flags, the yellow flags, whatever. And you go, okay, you know, this person may have some really amazing qualities, but at the end of the day, is this a person that I can emotionally open myself to? Is this somebody who's willing to understand who I am, what I'm about, and where I'm heading? And it's like you've shut that off. You've shut that down. Like you're still being nice, kind, caring, just as a human being, right? But to invest that, like on a full scale, is like, no, this is something that I'm reserving for myself. I can give it to you, who's maybe going to take it for granted or whatever, or I can save this for myself and give it out somewhere else that is not going to be, maybe, I'm hearing judgmental from Spirit of who I am and what I'm doing. So this star, what's the, what does Aries need to know, Spirit? 6 of Pentacles, again, giving something back to something that gives to you and willing to wait at that out. That 2 of Wands, and there's that Temperance again. Aries, there's definitely something here around the fact that whoever this is, whatever this is, that comes in just enough to kind of wrap you back up into a situation is something that has not been an even exchange of energy. Like I said, you get up that friend that shows up for 5 minutes, right? And then like they get their fill and they're gone, and then you're kind of left holding the bag going, okay, well now I want to talk about something and you've done checked out on me. It's kind of how this feels. I'm going to say too, Spirit's bringing up the fact for those of you that are in marriages, you could feel like you and your partner are 2 ships passing in the night. Hey, how was your day? Great. I'm going to bed and getting a shower. I'm getting a shower and going to bed. Whatever this dynamic has been, and I'm going to say the last 3 weeks to a month, Spirit is saying, it has been wearing you down. Like, you think about, like, Maybe for someone that's in a 20-year marriage and all of a sudden, like, you've gone from best friends and partners to roommates. It's that kind of energy that I'm seeing sit here. And it's like knowing that you need more, wanting more, desiring more, wanting something that's going to create a space of healing. And Aries, I do think that I got the chills, and I've got the Three of Pentacles here now twice, that says you're looking at the way your partnerships are working together, how they keep also giving me the word lucrative. So whatever that means for you, I don't think I've ever said that in a reading before. What's lucrative? And that doesn't have to be just in the financial sense, right? This can be in your emotions. This can be in your actions. This can be in what you're working towards. Anything that makes you feel good, right? Something that's lucrative is abundant, and it's beautiful, and it's prosperous, and all of those wonderful things. But whatever this is really like kind of ripping the rug out from underneath your feet. So what to avoid here? Clarify the Fool for Aries. Five of Swords. In Spirit goes, and your choices. And there's the Lovers. Excuse me. We've had snow, we've had cold, and it's wearing on me. Five of Swords. That is your own mental energy, your own mental conflicts as well. I feel like when there's that underlying energy of, I won't call it anger, but frustration with a situation. And I think I said before to you guys recently that it's like you're not wanting to have to deal with it. You're not wanting to see it. I think that was you. That's kind of what this Five of Swords is. If I take a risk on something and I don't think it through, if I'm not paying attention to the choices that I'm making with those choices, there are consequences that I may have to, I feel like they're going to become heavier than they need to be. There's going to be too many irons in the fire, chef, you know, cooks in the kitchen, whatever you want to call it. But this Five of Swords with this Fool is like, there's also a worry about how you move on from this particular situation to get to that Nine of Pentacles and the Sun. You know, so it's like, you know, you may be trying to avoid letdown and disappointment in regards to somebody else as well, or the need to really give credence to that, or the way that you would typically do something. But Five of Swords is asking you not to get in your own way, not get into your own head, don't self-sabotage a situation, you know. So there's that Seven of Wands. I just can't help but feel, Aries, like there's this constant need to defend your own happiness. Like, you know, you could walk in a room and light up the place and be like, hey, what's going on? You know, life is good. And you've got that one asshole who's got to come and bust your bubble. And it's like, can I just get 5 seconds to myself? Can I just walk into the room and be happy? Why does someone got to rain on my parade? So I kind of feel like, you know, again, if this is like a relationship, you could just be dealing with a partner who is very down and out for whatever reason. And it's like they're projecting this unhealed space or this unhappiness that is within them on you. But I also feel like your patience for a situation is really starting to wear through, you know. Some of you could be having issues with jaw, or it's not your jaw. Let me see this. What is this? What is the word? Hold on a second. I want to see what this... Hold on. I just noticed there's writing on this card, and it says ailment or something. I'm trying to magnify it because I can't see. And it's really not coming into focus. Okay, so I can't read the word. Can't read the word, but element. Idealistic. What is your... That's interesting. I've never seen this on here before. Spirit is saying, what is your idealistic approach to a situation? That's very... The way that just came in was very odd, very strange. Your idealistic approach to a situation of anything that is ailing you at this time. Something about the side of the face, the facial structure. Somebody could have a tattoo. Somebody could have some jaw issues. I feel like it's a very interesting energy. There's something, we're going to go deep again here. And there is something, is this spirit, is this for them or for the other person? Pay attention to your jaw. Okay, if you're questioning who this person is or what this situation is, pay attention to how your jaw feels. Like if you get like, if you've got like TMJ, or you're a person who clenches your teeth and you're stressed out, that kind of thing, pay attention to Spirit saying particularly the left side of the face. Are you clenching your jaw? Does the facial structure feel out of alignment? They keep bringing me back to the headspace. If you find yourself clenching down, that's kind of like your sign that your body is going, I'm rejecting this situation. I'm rejecting this scenario. I'm rejecting what's happening because it's causing me immense stress. With your advice, the 9 of Wands, the 2 of Swords. We've got the 2 of Cups. There's that Page of Swords. Page of Swords, not the Knight of Swords. Aries, it's really quite interesting when it comes to this situation. I feel like with that 4 Cups, this 2 of Swords, and there was a couple other cards that caught my attention in the same regard. That poking, that Queen of Swords, right? Kind of poking at you. Like, whatever the situation is, you can't miss the details at this point anymore. Like, even if you brushed it off before, you can't miss the details to how difficult it's become. Spirit is saying that it's a matter of you needing to release yourself. Whether this is someone else's ideological beliefs, thought processes, why they keep you caught up in something. Know that for some of you, you may not be able to simply walk away from a situation. But Spirit is telling you that part of this change for you in Pluto with Aquarius here in the next couple of months is to move forward regardless of what someone else is doing. Okay? You see this. You know this. Even with this 2 of Swords. You see this. This one here is taking her blindfold off. She's tired of being picked at, poked at, gnawed at, whatever you want to call it. And she's like, I'll be damned. Like, I'm going to have balance in my life. She, he, them, they, it doesn't matter. Right? She is on the card. It's been a long freaking road with whatever this situation is that has left you feeling like, I can't get no satisfaction at this point with whatever this is. They keep highlighting, though, the 6 of Wands, even though it's not on the table, like I pointed out to you in the 9 of Wands. He's holding that 6th wand. Damned and determined to have some kind of victory and success over a very difficult situation with somebody. And I do think that it's coming in. You know, your advice is to keep moving in a positive forward direction so that you can get to that independent energy that you're craving. Marriage and rest of waiting messages. Aries. I felt like for you guys for what, a couple of weeks now, maybe, there is some kind of new, whether it's new love, new partnership, new something that comes from the other side of this, whatever this is for you specifically, right? You could have someone who either picks apart your work, picks apart the way you love, picks apart the way that you act, anything that is tied to your happiness. You're like, yes, I did it, right? And then they say that one thing, and it's like, seriously? You just said that to me? You can't help but just kind of go, when they have that type of communication or the critiquing, and it's not that you're not able to take constructive criticism, it's, again, this feeling of somebody who's got to pick and poke and nag and bitch about something. And it's like you're getting in your head on this, going, why? You know, why? What is this Two of Swords? Aries, I feel like a lot of you, if you've not been single, and I'm not saying that every Aries in the world, their partnership is dying, but I do feel like there is this very strong need to pursue life's goals on Aries life terms, on Spirit's life's terms, you know, whatever. Living life on life's terms without the pushback. And you've got not enough, looking confident, or lacking confidence, self-sabotage, ego, fear, and frustration. No matter what it is, it's like having somebody that is very codependent, that always has to be right beside you, or has to be doing things a certain way that is connected to you. It's like, you know, going to your mother-in-law's house on the weekends. And it's like, listen, I've got other things I want to do. Like, why can't we go to this work party? Why can't we go hang out with these friends? And it's like, well, we got to go to our, you know, to my mom's. And it's like, well, I don't want to go to your mom's, but we have to do this every freaking weekend. Like, there's just something around this energy. It's like, if you want to, excuse me, if you want to go, go. But I'm going to go in there and be upset and aggravated and over it. And it's just like somebody here, again, is very much seeking attention, watching, looking, perception, stalking, passion. Like, they're expecting something from you, Aries, that you're not able to give them. Your focus is on you and what it is that you need to do for yourself. And you're just seeing, again, way back to the beginning, their bare bones of a particular situation that it does not work. Like, this is, it's washed up, it's dried out. Hang this bitch out to dry. It's done. It's done. I don't want to do this anymore. There's nothing left to this. Like, there's nothing left here to be picked apart. It's just over. And I really feel like that's where you are, is like, I need to be within myself. I need to have this peace. I need to be able to make these decisions. I need to be able to invest my energy into things that are going to give back to me. Even if it's this much, because right now I'm getting nothing. Nothing but torn apart for every action decision that I make. And I will say to you, like, someone in, whoever this is, whatever this is chasing down the way that it used to be. The way it used to be, and what the actual reality of a situation is, they're not the same anymore. You've moved on from something, you're moving on from something, and somebody else is trying to keep you wrapped tight in their bubble. So, that's that. Aries, if you found this video resonated, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I hope that this helped some way, maybe putting something into perspective for you. But they keep taking me back to this High Priestess of Earth. Like, on the other side of this, you find your footing. On the other side of this, you step back into your stability and your grace. So, hang tight. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but you could be dealing with the Cancer, Pisces, Taurus, Aquarius, Sagittarius, but it doesn't have to be. Okay? All right, guys. I'm going to leave it there. I'm wishing you all the very best. I'll see you soon.